Hey, welcome back to the Big Red Zone. We're very excited for today's show. Remember, new episodes come out every Wednesday. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the like button on this video as well as all our other videos. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Big Red Zone. And as always, tell a friend. This week, I have a very special guest. Evan Jackman is here. We'll break down some NFL moves, a lot of moves over the last week. We'll break down some of that, and we'll fill out our March Madness brackets live. All that and more on this week's episode of the Big Red Zone. Welcome to the podcast. This is the Big Red Zone. I'm your host, Big Red. This week, I am joined by my good friend, Evan Jackman.
What's going
Mr.
on?
Brockton Rocks himself.
Oh
If
yeah.
there's any, I wore
Oh
it for
yeah.
you, Ev. If there's
I put it
anyone,
on too.
if there's anyone that loves the Brockton Rocks more than myself, I'd say it's probably Evan Jackman.
Yeah, I can't get enough.
He's the guy that's hopefully taking over the throne in the clubhouse. That's the guy that he's the second next in line.
If they offer it to me, I'm grabbing it. Know that.
Ev, tell the listeners. I know this is your first time on the pod. Tell a little bit about yourself and tell people what they want. Give us a little insight on the Evan.
Well, I'm obviously huge Brockton Rocks guy. Have been since I was a young boy when Steve was the bad boy. Um, I've
I changed his life. I
yeah.
changed his life. I gave there's pictures being taken when he was at a young self. Celebrity of Brockton.
Yeah. Former college football player, so I feel like I'm allowed to speak on football matters, and that's all I got.
Well, it's one retired college athlete to another. Welcome to the club.
Yep.
Feels
Thank
nice.
you. Yep.
Feels nice to hang him up, buddy. It feels good.
Yeah, it's
I,
still fresh.
um, as Evan said, he was former. He's being modest too. What were you You win a was it all American, all conference, all that good stuff?
All Americans pushing it, but
I think all
I was all
American.
conference, all American in the Brockton Rock size. That's all that
All right.
matters for me.
I should have worn the softball shirt. Get the
Yeah,
should have got the missile shirt out here.
yeah, mine's around here somewhere.
It should be in a glass case.
Honestly, yeah, it should be. I should be hanging right here
Yeah.
instead of that thing.
The best jersey you've ever. I mean, it's good to have the second best jersey you've ever worn behind you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but let's get into it. Being a former college football player, you have a lot of insight probably in this. I'm guessing football next to the Brockton Rocks is probably your favorite sport.
Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah,
Brockton Rocks is just my whole life, but
yeah.
then football takes a backseat to that.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. So there's a lot of moves made in the last week or so. I just have some of the big ones here. There's a lot of smaller moves around, but a couple of the big ones that I had that I pointed out and love to get your insight on it, or your opinion on it. We'll start with this one. Myers to the Raiders, Jacoby Myers to the Raiders. That one came out today. That one hits a little bit home. Uh, my 2 cents on it. Like originally, I talked about it last week. I was like, if they're gonna ask for like 30 million bucks a year, I'm be the first one to say see you later. But 15 million bucks, I'm not like too. I wouldn't have said no to that. I think I would have brought him back on that deal. Kind of surprised the Pats didn't bring him back, but I think that's going to be a big loss for the Patriots, and I hope they got something up their sleeve with trades or whatever that might be.
I like it for Jacoby Myers. Like that guy, he's a number two guy. Like we
Mm.
asked him to do way too much here. So to be the number two to Devontae Adams, I feel like he's gonna thrive, especially in Josh McDaniels' offense. But yeah, I would have loved to bring him back, but then that's hopefully means we're gonna be doing something with that first round pick, whether trading it or getting one of the top receivers in the draft.
Yeah, I don't. I'm kind of jumping around here. Do you think um, my favorite receiver in this draft is? I'll be honest, it's probably like a biased pick, but is Zay Flowers? Do you think Zay Flowers will fall to the second? Or like our, I think it's 45. Is it? We have a high second round pick. I think I forget what number it is, but do you think Zay Flowers will fall to the second round, or do you think he's a first round guy?
I don't. That's what I think he'll fall because he's not like the top dudes
Right.
like Marvin Harrison, like the big names. I feel like he'll kind of slip because of that kind of like he's not like the big dudes that showed out
Yeah.
crazy last season.
I like him. I think he's a kind of fits what the Patriots like to do, and I think he would flourish here. I just think I that's why I was thinking. I think he falls to the second round where I think the Patriots can get him.
Yeah,
I just don't know if you're trading that second round pick for a guy like Hopkins or another wide receiver like that. I don't know if they make that move, but be interested to see. I don't know. That was I was just curious on that. The Raiders also made a ton. The Raiders have been very active. Before that, they signed Jimmy G. Um, I kind of like it. I like the move for the Raiders. I like the move for Jimmy. You know, they need a starting quarterback, but I think they're in a position where they don't want to have a start unless they're getting like a guy like Lamar or, you know, Rodgers, I guess, but Rodgers only got a couple years. I think they're really looking for a bridge guy. I think they're looking for a guy
yeah,
that's going to come
absolutely.
in and start for a couple years, and Jimmy fits the mold. So, and I think Jimmy will do well there with Josh McDaniels.
Jimmy just wins. That's like
Yeah.
his own like where even when he doesn't play well, like he just we finds a way to win games. That's why I feel like it's not the worst move that like I know they're going from a a above average quarterback to a pretty average quarterback, but I think Jimmy's got something in him that just allows him to win games when he's not supposed to.
Yeah, I think he like Jimmy's problem has always been and probably will always be his health. Like his health, he just can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
But I mean, the 3 seasons in San Fran that he stayed healthy, he brought him to 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So it's like that
exactly.
he doesn't now he hasn't won it. He hasn't won it all as a quarterback, but if he'll get you there, and if they can find a way to win around him, it's like I think they'll be okay. Um, the other move they made, which I was kind of surprised, I don't know about you, but they traded Darren Waller to the Giants. I was I was kind of thrown off by that. I was kind of surprised they didn't want to build. You know, they Darren Waller. I know didn't have the best year last year, but I mean to have Myers, Waller, and Adams to surround Jimmy, and then you have Hunter Renfro as like a fourth option. I would have thought they would have wanted to hold on to him, but I'm surprised that they got rid of him.
I'm thinking they see something like that. Like he's not gonna be what he was before last season. Like that's the only thing that would make sense to me because that doesn't like I would think that they'd want to keep him around, especially bringing in like offensive weapons like that. But so I'm assuming they see something that they don't like that he won't be back to where he was.
I mean, he's 30 years old. Had a had a nasty string of injuries last year. You know, it's not that old, but he's getting up there for what he does. I've also heard there's a lot of tight ends in this draft class that maybe they want to just take a chance on them and save the money
Yeah,
because I think he was paid. He had a pretty decent sized contract. Um, I don't really love that move for the Raiders unless they see something, like you said, unless they see something that we don't see. I love the move for the Giants because I think that that's a great target and a great weapon to bring in for Daniel Jones. I think that I just traded Daniel Jones in Dynasty Football, so
really. He had
it
a
was a good.
couple. He had a couple like 30-point weeks last year. So
So I traded for him at the start of last year because I thought I liked Daniel Jones. I thought it was. I think Daniel Jones' problems the last couple of years before last season was all Joe Judge. I really can't put
yeah,
much on him. So I traded for him, and his stock went up. But I made Let me see what I got. I'll tell you this trade. You be the judge on this move. I think it was an unbelievable blockbuster trade, if I'm being honest.
All right.
So I traded Mike Evans, Joe Mixon, Daniel Jones, Albert, whatever his last name is, Wandell Robinson, George Pickens, a fourth round pick, and a third round pick. Not this year, future picks for Dak, Cortland Sutton, Cam Akers, Rondell Moore, Drake London, the second overall pick this year, a second round pick this year, and a second round pick next year.
I feel the getting rid of Mike Evans is smart. That and putting that in there, and then Dak Prescott's always a fucking
I
always a
just needed a
fantasy
quarterback.
quarterback. He's always a good fantasy quarterback to have.
Yeah. I also traded my late first round pick for Diggs. I got Steph Diggs in the process
Nice.
too.
Yeah.
Just wheeling and dealing over here.
Yeah,
I just won
seems
the
like it.
championship.
Did you?
I just won the
Solid.
championship. First and only two-time champion in that league.
Solid.
I every other year is a championship. All right, let's another couple moves. Miami keeps their running backs, Mostert and Wilson, which I think is, I mean, that's not a splash move, but I like that because those are interchangeable players. Mostert, I feel like is such an underrated running back, just because of health. But when he's in, he's as good as anyone. I think that's a great move, especially with Tua coming off a really banged up year,
Yeah.
like to say the least. I think if they can run the ball a little bit more to kind of protect him a little bit, I think that's a good idea. So I like that move by Miami, bringing both those guys back. It has that RB depth for them for sure. Um, I also like the who they just trade for,
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. I love that move. Like
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
surprised the Patriots didn't offer that. Like I feel like the Pats could have offered that more. I'm not saying Jalen Ramsey's like what he was before, but he definitely would have helped the secondary, especially losing a veteran like Devin McCourty who just announced his retirement. I think that would have been a huge move for the Patriots, but the
Yeah,
Dolphins get scary.
especially when we leaned on like Jonathan Jones far too much last year. Like he's a solid corner, but he's not a number
Right.
like he was behind J.C. Jackson who played like unreal the past few years for us, and then we asked him to do too much. So I feel like Jalen Ramsey would have been perfect for us, but now I feel like that Dolphins team is a lot scarier to play with all those dudes
Who do
that
you
they
think's Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just like think about they got Bradley Chubb last year and now they got Jalen Ramsey, so
That team they're building like something great in Miami. Who do you think is the best team in the East now? In our division now.
I would say I'm more scared of Miami at this point because the like we played the Bills pretty well the first time last year, and then we hung in the second time, but then they kind of pulled away. But and then the past 2 years the Bills have unraveled as the season's gone on. And I feel
Well,
like if Tua is what people say he is, then Miami's going to be good for a long time. I'm still not completely sold on Tua yet.
yeah, I like Tua a lot, but I think he has a lot of the injury bug too, especially with concussions. Like he's just to have that
Yeah.
many concussions and like basically to have that happen to him in 1 year, like that's scary. I I don't know how much he's going to be of himself because a lot of his benefit is mobile. And I think he's got to cut that stuff out because I
Yeah.
don't think he can. I think he's got to kind of stay in the pocket a little more. Um, they could always bring Tom Brady out of retirement and bring him into Miami.
He could
But
he'd win a Super Bowl in a year.
I think he'd win in Miami. I think they'd win the Super
I
Bowl
think
if he went to
yeah,
Miami.
absolutely.
Him with Tyreek Hill and Waddle, it's like
He'd throw for 6,000 yards.
I think and it would be all like dink and dunks. It would just be Tyreek
Yeah,
Hill
just running down the
getting,
sideline.
yeah. Um, Yeah, I think I kind of tend to agree with you. I think the Bills may be blown up within the next 2 seasons. I
Yeah,
think Diggs is getting frustrated and older. Josh Allen's not going to be on that rookie contract. They're losing guys like Tremaine Edmonds just left for the Bears.
yeah,
Why in the world would anyone want to go to the Bears over the Bills, who were supposed to be the Super Bowl favorites last year? I think the Bills are going to be blown up within the next couple of years.
yeah.
I'm not too scared of them. Um, Another division team that is kind of on the cusp of either being the same or now entering the conversation of being threats is the Jets, because for some reason I don't get it. I really don't get it. Aaron Rodgers is like, that seems like the favorite for him to go sign there. Uh, I I can you make sense? Does this make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me that he'd want to go to the Jets.
I mean, they just signed Alan Lazard, so maybe
Yeah,
that they're bringing. I assumed it was the Raiders, the Buccaneers, and the Jets were his landing spots, and then the Raiders just got Jimmy, and then the Buccaneers, I don't know, but I've heard things that the deal's done with the Jets, like, and then I've heard that he wants like them to sign Randall Cobb, but like I don't know, but it seems like it's the wheels are in motion for that to happen, and that would make that team a lot scarier than it is right now.
I think they immediately jump into the conversation from like AFC Championship, maybe Super Bowl if he
I
signs
think
there,
so too.
because they already. I think they have most of the pieces there. Like they got
Yeah,
the running backs. They got Garrett Wilson's a beast. Sauce Gardner's a beast on defense. Like Robert Saleh is an unbelievable defensive coach. I think they have to jump in the conversation. Like I obviously everyone's going to just immediately point to the Bengals and the Chiefs, but I think they passed the Bills as far as like if you're comparing rosters, and I think they get the edge against Miami just based on quarterback. I think I trust quarterback a lot more, but I think in a day the Patriots could fall from, you're competing in the division to being the fourth team in the
yeah,
division in a day if he signs with the Jets, if he gets
yeah.
traded to the Jets.
That Jets team is just one like competent quarterback away from being like a deep playoff contender. Because that defense is like unreal. And then you just plug in Brees Hall coming back, and then Garrett Wilson. Like you just plug in a good quarterback, and that team takes off.
The crazy thing is the whole team is young too. So it's like
Yeah,
all cheap contracts. You have plenty of space for like that Aaron Rodgers size contract.
yeah,
And I think they're going to take off. I think they'd take off with even Jimmy G, to be honest, like a Jimmy G, like an average quarterback.
yeah,
If Derek Carr went there, if Jimmy went there, I think they'd obviously Aaron Rodgers makes them even better, but I think they immediately become anything is better than Zach Wilson. Like Zach Wilson's just
absolutely. Yeah,
trash. Um, and Mike White left. Where did Mike White go?
he went down to Miami.
He went to my. Hey, never mind. Miami's still my.
Mi- Miami's
Miami's the
the
favorite.
Miami's the Super Bowl lock.
Mike White's going to be the starting quarterback by week 3, so I think it's a lock. They're going to be unbelievable. Um, you mentioned Lazard signed with the Jets, but I think that's kind of the writing on the wall. I think that was like an Aaron Rodgers like already playing GM move.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, Another move, just looking through a bunch of them. I got through a big trade. Stephon Gilmore to the Cowboys. What do you think about? I mean, the Cowboys defense definitely got. I mean, with Diggs and Gilmore on either side, that's a pretty scary defensive secondary for sure.
yeah. I think that nothing's holding that team back from other than Dak Prescott from being like a
Well, I just
especially.
traded for him in fantasy football, so don't tell me that. I want.
Yeah, well, he throws for a lot of yards. He just, doesn't. I just did. Dak Prescott's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback in my eyes. Like they can do anything like they want, but they get to like divisional round, conference championship, and I don't think that they have the wheels to get. Like I think especially with this this acquisition, I feel like they're a really solid team, but I can't see Dak Prescott pushing them over the edge.
He's good in fantasy football championships, just not
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is like week 15. But it's
Yeah.
the once we get to week like 19 or the divisional and all that other rounds, pretty awful. Um, I think they also screwed up when they signed Zeke to that huge contract. They just wasted blue money on a running back. I hate paying running backs huge money,
Yeah, and
and they
he's
just
he's he's just a 3rd and 1 type back nowadays, like, he's not, even
yeah,
close to what he used to be.
he's a shell. He's a shell of what his
Yep.
younger self. And now they got Pollard, so I guarantee they're gonna just run with him. Um, Not a big flash move like we've been talking, but I like the Rashad Penny move to the Eagles. That's a nice little depth piece for running back um, to add to what they a pretty strong running back room. But I like that move a lot. Pats released Ryan Allen. I mean, he was out for most of the year, and they fined him for a bunch of stuff. So I don't really know what happened, what soured that relationship, but Ryan Allen went from being Bill's favorite lefty punter to
Yeah.
just see you later. Thanks
Smell
for
ya.
playing.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for the championship. See you later. Um, Eric Kendricks signed with the Chargers, which I think that's an unbelievable get for the Chargers. Obviously, that defense struggled in that divisional round or wild card weekend. I think this is a big get for them, and but it sounds like they want to. Eckler wants to get traded, so I don't know what that team's state is going to be coming next year. But good get on defense, but they got to figure out the Eckler situation.
They could turn that into something because what they're missing is a run game. That's why they they blew a 27-point lead, so if they could turn Eckler into an actual running like, someone that actually runs the football instead of Eckler who just catches the ball out of the backfield, then I feel like that'll open up a lot of options for them.
I think that also allows you to kind of not only see what you got because I think you already know, but kind of just put the keys in Herbert's hands because they're kind of in Eckler's hands right now. It's not really. I feel like it's a weird dynamic because Eckler's kind of your face. I think they got to totally, if you want to see if Herbert's that MVP, I think they got to kind of just give him the keys to the castle and let him
Yeah.
see what he does. Um, they could end up drafting, they could be a team that drafts Bijan. I think Bijan would do pretty well there. He's young and they'll actually run the ball.
Yep.
Uh, Bates, I think, was a great get by the Falcons. Uh,
I wanted
I think
him for the
I wanted
Pats.
him with the Pats too, especially with Devin McCourty like
Yeah.
out the door before he was out the door before the signing, but he officially retired after. But man, that would have been like I would have felt fine about Devin McCourty retiring if we got Bates. They gave him a
Yeah.
lot of money, but I still would have given him that money.
We just extended Peppers, so I'm assuming we're just rolling with Jabril Peppers as our safety, replacing McCourty, which I don't really know how I feel about.
I like Peppers a lot, but I like him more as like not like a true safety, like a Patriot safety, like a
Like
guy that's
a
gonna blitz,
Yeah,
kind of like an extra linebacker.
like a Kyle Duggar type
Right,
situation.
right. I don't really
Yeah.
like him in the secondary, but I mean, if you ask, who's the kid we got from the Eagles a couple years ago, his green hair.
Jalen Mills.
Jalen Mills thinks he's gonna fill that role.
Yeah, but then we
Don't
need
really know.
we need another corner, like
I don't really know how I feel about Jalen Mills playing safety, but
yeah,
um, who knows? We'll have to see. The good news we mentioned Jonathan Jones. I mean we overused him, but it was I think imperative, especially after we missed out on Bates, getting
yeah,
Jonathan Jones back in New England. So that was a good. It was kind of it looked like a pretty team friendly deal,
yeah.
but it was good to get him back. And then the tight end experiment is finally done. Uh, Joanna Smith was traded for like a 20th round pick. Just
Yeah,
basically handed him away, said, "Thanks for coming to
please
the."
take this man.
Yeah, please take this contract down to the Falcons, and the Falcons actually, their head coach was the tight ends and offensive coordinator when he was in Tennessee, so I think that's mainly why they took him. But what a disappointment that was. I like I don't know about your opinion on that, but I just feel like I can't put all of this on him because we just never used him. Like the couple games we used him, he played really well, and like we just didn't use him effectively. I think we didn't use either tight end effectively.
Yeah, this year he was bad, like
Yeah,
performance wise. But the Josh McDaniels didn't use him, and like he knew he didn't use him. But then like this year, it was like we didn't even try to use him. We didn't have an offensive quarterback coordinator, so it's like we didn't even try to use him, and then he played a lot worse than he did the year before. So then even like both tight ends took a step back from the year before, and we needed to like get rid of him. He was just not doing it.
yeah. I think it was time for everyone to move on in that situation.
Yeah,
So it's good, and I mean it's kind of good now that you picked Hunter Henry. I think Mac has a good relationship with Hunter and like kind of has a connection there. So it's good you keep him in the building. And at the end of Josh's last year, so Mac's rookie year, there was like a streak of like 10 games when Hunter Henry had a touchdown. So
yeah.
maybe Billy O can get back to that. Um, I'm looking at some of the free agents that are still here. Just curious on what you think of these guys. Adam Thielen, who was cut, I said last week I think he's still got a little juice in the tank. Who do you think he helps out the most? Like, where do you think he could make an impact? What team do you think he can make a serious impact on?
Hmm. I think he's not. I don't think he's gonna be like the guy. I think if he goes to like the Bears when they have DJ Moore now, and he could be the secondary guy. I think that would be a good move for him and the Bears, just because now I don't think I really don't think Chase Claypool's all like that great. I
Yeah, I think he had like a splash his rookie year, and then after that, he was pretty
Yeah,
much Dunsky. I don't think he's like that great of a player. Yeah, I think if he goes anywhere, he's going to be like a number two, maybe three. Three, he would probably have his. I think that's where he would probably thrive because he's just, he can be like a third option. But I think he could be like on a championship caliber team. I think could be a impact player.
yeah,
Um, Another guy that I think the Patriots should really take a look at, and he's on the coming from the Bills, is Jordan Pointer. Safe. I think he would be like a good guy, a veteran guy to come in here for the safety position because, like we said, I don't really trust that safety room we got right now. I wouldn't mind seeing them take a chance on him, bring him in and see what he's got. Older, he's been around the league, he knows the division well. So I'd like to see them take a chance on Jordan Pointer.
yeah. I like that too.
Um, I like another guy, Orlando Brown, as a junior left tackle. Another
Yeah,
help on the offensive line. The offensive line has been fluctuating last year, but I think we need to overall improve that a lot. So Wendell Brown's kind of like a slap in starter, and it's like I think he takes care of a lot of issues, especially at the left tackle spot.
especially if we're letting Isaiah Wynn walk, Orlando Brown would be a great pickup.
Yeah, I knowing Bill, he's probably going to want to just get a draft someone in the first round, and then that's your starting left tackle. But I'd really like them to just have a veteran in there because like Trent Brown's older. I don't really trust Trent Brown. I like I I admit I'm wrong. Cole Strange, you could have got him like 5 rounds later, but Cole Strange is
That's
a
the
great player.
problem. Yeah, when he came up in the first round, that was the head scratcher. But he has pass blocking could still use some work with that kid, but I think he's a solid player and he'll only improve. And Winu is like an
Yeah.
unreal player.
So I think Atlanta Brown, like you said, Atlanta Brown solves a lot of issues. Is there a player? Is there a position that you think is number one that the Pats need to like improve on?
Other than wide receiver,
Any position? Yeah, wide receiver is definitely one, but
I'd like them to go after like some middle linebackers because like since we had Dante Hightower, we haven't had like a like that lead that defensive captain. Like I mean
uh-huh.
we rely on Judon, but he's like a pretty one dimensional rush the passer kind of guy. Like if we could get like a Bobby Wagner on like a 1 year, 2 year deal,
Hmm.
like I feel like that would elevate the already like elite defense even higher than it is.
Yeah, I like Bobby Wagner. I think we do need some help on the linebacker side. I think we need some speed in the linebacker side too. I feel like all our middle linebackers are pretty slow.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think about? I'm just looking at this website as like the free agents still available. What do you think about Bud Dupree?
See that
It's like,
with early Bud Dupree was like early Steelers years, I'd be all for it, but I don't know the yeah he's definitely lost a step, but like I don't see why he definitely improve us like even with the way he is now.
Devin Bush is a free agent from the Pittsburgh Steelers. You like him
Yeah, he underperformed with the Steelers. I feel like, but
last year?
he's a quick dude. He's a fast guy.
He's young. He's 24.
Yeah,
I think he would help. I liked him. I mean, he had a bad year last year, but I think he'd be all right. Levante David's also a free agent that brings some veteran presence. I don't know where he'll go. Um, I'm looking at the older group now. Levante David and Melvin Ingram are the two oldest linebackers available. Um, but again, if we're talking Melvin Ingram of like 3 or 4 years ago, I
yeah, absolutely. I'll take him.
um, want to go round like seven with Kyle Van Noy.
Honestly, like the dude seems to perform every time he's with us, so why the fuck not?
Who else is coming? No one else is coming through that door. We might as well take a chance on him. Uh, yeah, there's no one really that's grabbing me on this list here. But yeah, I think you're right. We should just grab like a couple guys to kind of be veteran presence in the linebacker room, and then maybe we draft a middle linebacker of the future, a linebacker of the future, and kind of learn under that. So I want to throw this. I heard some rumors out there, and this is something I said probably. I want to say it was at the end of the Pat season. I think it was, or it was at the end of the Super Bowl time. I want to say it was at the end of the Pat season. I said it on the podcast. I want to throw this theory out there, this target for you. I said the Patriots, one of the Patriots, the wide receivers the Patriots would target is Jerry Judy. I said that before Sean Payton went there, and Sean Payton went there. I was like, that's probably not going to happen. But I was like, Mac gets the guy that he performed well with in college. He has some experience there. He's younger. Jerry Judy hasn't really popped yet. He's kind of been like underperforming. He's played well, but it's like he hasn't been the guy that we thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
How do you feel about? And I heard that there was a report this week that said the Patriots and Broncos were in talks about either Cortland Sutton or Jerry Judy. How would you feel about Jerry Judy on the Patriots? Do you think that's a guy that is that as good of a move as getting a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, or do you think that that's the wrong move the Patriots should make?
Yeah, I'd love it. Like obviously DeAndre Hopkins is DeAndre Hopkins, but
Right.
he's only going to be around for another couple years, and but I'd love that Jerry Judy because that's my biggest problem with Mac when he was coming out of college was he had the best offensive line and in the country and the best receivers in the country. And I was like, he comes to the Pats and it's not he doesn't have any receivers to throw to a solid offensive line. So I feel like if we get a guy familiar with him like that, I'd take it 100%.
And especially like Billy O has familiarity with him too. So it's
Yeah.
like I feel like he's a smart fit for the Patriots. I didn't think that was going to happen because I feel like Sean Payton wants to win. But who knows? Maybe they'll want to dump one of them. I would take Cortland Sutton too. I'm not being greedy, but I think Jerry Judy would be perfect for the Patriots.
Yeah.
So let's move on to because the big story this week is March Madness starts this week. The brackets are out. We had selection Sunday. As Evans probably this is his first time he can do a bracket in many years because of the NCAA regulations.
Yep.
Uh, so what perfect way to start his first bracket season back, but on the podcast. So I don't know if you want to, Ev. I'm going to fill up my bracket on the pod. I don't know if you have a bracket available and handy, but we'll go through the games and we'll see who's going to be the national champion.
Let's do it.
Um, let's start in the South with the one Alabama versus Texas A&M CC. Who do you got in that game?
Man. Alabama, man. Why do they I just Alabama, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I
And
picked
I
Alabama.
can't. I last time I did pick Virginia that year that they lost to UMBC, so the 16 over 1, so I'm always reluctant to pick 16s over 1s.
Yeah, I think Alabama's going to win. I don't think they're going to win it all, but I think Alabama's going to win at least that first round. They have a pretty good team. Uh, Maryland versus West Virginia.
Um I'd throw Maryland.
I'm going to go Maryland as well. Um, they have a pretty decent. They have a winning record against top 25 teams. They had a pretty good record in the conference. They have their defense is better I think than West Virginia. Why not? Let's go Maryland. All right, San Diego State over or not over but or Charleston.
San Diego State's always been solid the past few years.
I'll go San Diego State. Why not? I got to pick at least a couple upsets here. We're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
Virginia Furman. I don't even know who Furman is. We're going Virginia. Are you with
I'll
on the Virginia?
Yeah, yeah. I can't go against Virginia again.
How about Creighton and NC State?
I'll take NC State. This will be my first upset.
Upset alert! Upset alert! Creighton Creighton plays a little better defense. I feel like the 11 seed is like the winning like that's the biggest like upset seed. I'll go NC State. Baylor, I'm gonna pick Baylor. Baylor just
Yeah,
seems to do pretty well in the tournament over the last few years. Missouri or Utah State. I'm gonna go Miz. I think.
yeah,
I think yeah. I think it's Utah State just doesn't have much experience against good team like top 25 teams. Arizona, I think, is going to win over Princeton
yeah,
again. I mean, Princeton lost to Yale and Iona, so I don't really. Two seed usually wins a lot too. All right, Purdue. I'm picking Purdue.
yeah. They're not losing.
Memphis, FAU.
Mm,
I think I'm going to go FAU. I don't know why. Something just telling me over FAU.
FAU.
Well, Memphis, I think, is a good pick. Duke, I'll never choose against Duke in the first round,
Yeah, no,
uh,
it's not smart.
especially against a team called Oral
Oral
Roberts.
Roberts. Yeah,
I'm
I will
sorry.
not be taking Oral Roberts.
Uh, There's nothing in my being that makes me want to take it from Robert. Uh, Tennessee or Louisiana?
The
Let's
Raging
go with
Cajuns.
the Raging Cajuns. I'm gonna go Tennessee over the Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, maybe next time. Raging
Maybe
Cajuns.
smell ya. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Here's one right here. This is gonna be, I think, a debate here. Kentucky versus Providence.
I usually in my brackets, not that I've picked brackets before, NCAA athlete. But I usually send the New England teams. So like UConn and Providence, I usually send them to at least the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I think what's the team that I thought? I'm picking Providence. I think it's on a revenge tour. Some breaking news here on the pod. I know we just finished. David Montgomery's going to the Lions.
Wow.
I guess that means what's his name's out. Um,
Jamal Williams,
Jamal
touchdown
Williams is
machine.
probably, yeah, I guess he's
Yeah,
out.
that sucks. I
Yeah.
like I think
I think I'd
I
rather
don't
Jamal Williams.
I don't think that makes that team any better.
Lateral moves. I am a big Lions guy, so I can't hate on him. All right.
I will never
We
pick a
got
team from Montana.
All
Not happening.
right, I'll take your word for it. Michigan State or USC?
I usually like taking 10 over sevens too. So I'm gonna send USC on this one.
I think I'm gonna go in honor of Matt with one T. Shout out to Matt with one T. I'm
Shout
gonna
out,
take
Matt.
Michigan. I think I'm gonna stick with him. Marquette versus Vermont.
Yeah, I may have to take a step back on my New England stance on Marquette.
Yeah, I would definitely think against that one. Houston, Northern Kentucky.
I'm a huge Northern Kentucky fan, as a matter of fact.
Well, I'm glad you can pick them to lose in the first. Are you picking the 16 over one upset?
Absolutely not.
All right. Iowa and Auburn.
Give me.
I think I'm going to pick Auburn.
I like Iowa.
I'm going to take Auburn. Now, Miami versus Drake. Now, here's a little insider trading for you here. Um, I think Miami's like stud. What's his name? Isaiah Wong. I think he's hurt.
Really. So so you're telling me to go against Miami?
I'm not telling you. Jeez, I'm not one to say where to go here. I'm just telling you. I think I'm going to pick Drake as an upset. A little 12 over 5 upset action. I think I'm going to pick Drake.
I can get behind it if you give me insider trader. I'm not gonna
Well, I'm
spit in the
not.
face of
I
that.
don't want to be. Well, geez, I don't want to be the one to say like, "Hey, Miami wins." What's going on?
Well,
I'm just
no.
telling you what I heard.
Well,
Shout out.
that's what I'm sending.
Send it. All right, Drake. Indiana versus Kent State. I'm going to go Indiana there.
Indiana, yeah.
Iowa State versus team that's yet to be determined. I got to go Iowa there.
Yeah, what is it? Between Mississippi State and Pitt, or is it?
Yeah, I think it's at Mississippi State and Pitt.
Yeah, yeah, we'll go Iowa State.
Xavier versus what does that say?
Kennesaw State.
If I can't say it, I'm not picking it.
That's fair.
That's
That's
the
fair.
rule I live by. Um, Texas A&M versus Penn State. The smart guys versus. No, I'm going Texas A&M.
I'm going Texas A&M. More
Now
I want
Texas
I
for
wanna I wanna go Colgate over Texas. That's what my heart's telling me to do.
I'd tell you to go for it.
Let's do it.
I'm not gonna do that though. I'm gonna pick Texas.
That's
I
good to
feel
know.
like Colgate was so much higher last year.
Yeah, but their stats do not look great, so
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I'll only trust Colgate for one thing, and that's keeping my teeth
that's
nice and
keeping
shiny.
my teeth pearly.
All right, Kansas versus Howard. I think Kansas is going to be able to beat one guy, so I'm going to pick Kansas over Howard.
Talk you
Arkansas
later,
versus.
Howard.
Thanks for coming. Where they at least they got a free trip to Iowa. Is it Iowa? Wells Fargo? Is that in Iowa? IA?
I assume
I assume that's Iowa. Arkansas versus Illinois. Say Illinois or Illinois when you say Illinois.
Illinois. I'm
Illinois, yeah. I feel like
not
the
an S
ois
guy.
is silent. Uh, man, I think this is kind of like a coin flip game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go Razorbacks over a Fighting Illini.
Something's telling me to go the 9. I think I'm going to go Illinois or Illinois, wherever you're from, however you say it. Enjoy that first round and then getting smoked by Kansas in the second. Um, St. Mary's versus VCU. I'm going to go St. Mary's there.
Yep. Roll
Think,
Gales.
right? Why not, right? St. Mary's. Former Brock to Rocks players used to. We had a couple St. Mary's guys. Now this is where my heart lives, right here. UConn.
UConn.
UConn versus Iona. Iona. I almost went to school in Iona, so I usually pick them to win the first round. Uh,
This is another Gales. We just had back-to-back games with a team mascot that's Gales.
just a couple of Gales.
Just a couple of Gales. In
I'm gonna
return.
go UConn. As much as
Yep.
I want to go Iona, I'm gonna go UConn. I'm a Husky fan first. Um, TCU versus A. Or no, we haven't even picked that game yet. ASU or Nevada. I'm gonna go TCU regardless.
Yep.
Gonzaga, Grand Canyon. I mean, as much as I don't know about you, but I don't think a bulldog could take down a whole Grand Canyon. I feel like that's too
That's a
much to
solid
ask.
assessment.
I feel like that's I feel like that's too much to ask. But with that said, if any bulldog's gonna do it, I think it's gonna be Gonzaga. You know, Gonzaga's from across the pond in Canada. Isn't where's Gonzaga? Is that in Canada, or is that just Kelly Olynyk
No,
is
I
in Canada?
I
I'm
think
thinking
it's the
Kelly Olynyk.
I think it's in the nation's capital, I'm not gonna lie.
Is it the nation's capital?
I think it's in Washington. I'm pretty sure.
I can't go any further with this podcast before I find out where Gonzaga is from. Where is Gonzaga? That'd be quite embarrassing. Washington,
Washington DC or the state?
WA.
Oh, see,
I
now
take that
I
as
look like
the.
an ass too.
Hey, at least you had it in the right country.
That's true. That's
Are
true.
you taking the Grand Canyon or are you taking Gonzaga?
No, I gotta take Gonzaga.
Northwestern versus Boise State.
God, I love Boise State's uniform, so I'm going with them.
I think that's the only way to pick. I'm going Northwestern. Uh, why? I got no reasoning for you. I
Couldn't
think I
tell
got
you.
a
Couldn't
I
tell you.
just something about that, that purple makes me want to pick them. Purple, Sacramento. It's in the game's going to be in Sacramento. The Kings. I think there's a lot of good luck there. Um, how's that for an answer? That's a totally made up answer.
Yeah, you made me believe.
I'm glad I could inspire. Um, UCLA versus UNC Asheville. Not to be confused with. So it's UNCA.
Anka.
Too many letters there. I'm picking
Yeah,
UCLA. Isn't that crazy? UNC's not in this.
yeah, that when I saw their record like last couple weeks ago, I was very, very surprised. It's like almost like a similar team as last year too.
I think there was a lot of returners.
Yeah, and they just couldn't get it done.
Couldn't get it done. Reminds me of another team I know. Um,
Last place in the FCBL.
it, it goes without saying. All right, we're going to the round of the Sweet 16. No, is that the round? No, round of
No,
32. Excuse me. I skipped Sweet Six. I skipped 32. All right, 32. Alabama versus Maryland.
I'm going Maryland over Alabama. Football school doesn't get it done.
I feel like they're gonna lose eventually, but I feel like they're gonna get another round. I'm gonna go Alabama. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if Maryland pulls off the upset, though. Like I think
Yeah,
Alabama. I said that today to the kids in the high school. I was like, "He's a football school. They're not going to win anything."
that's
They were
what
like picking them to win the championship. I was like,
that's
"There's
what
no way."
I'm. It's going through my head.
San Diego State versus Virginia. I'm going to go Virginia.
I'm going Virginia. Yeah,
Baylor versus NC State.
fuck it. NC State
Oh
ballers.
wow, you're being way more adventurous than me.
Baylor has been choking the past few years. So
I'm going to go Baylor. Prove me wrong, Baylor. Prove me wrong. Missouri versus Arizona.
Arizona,
Yeah, I think Arizona too. Purdue versus FAU.
Purdue. That team's unreal.
That's a stacked team. Duke versus Tennessee. It's a coin flip there.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to take Tennessee.
50-50 shot here. Uh, Tennessee does have some impressive wins. They've lost to Kentucky twice, which is kind of embarrassing. They are 5-3 against top 25. Oh man, I'm gonna go Duke. I hate it. Hate to pick Providence versus Kansas State.
I can't justify Providence anymore.
Give me Ed Cooley. I'll take the 11th seed going to the Sweet
Oh,
16. Give him
oh
to me.
shit.
Michigan State versus Marquette. Oh, you have a different team.
Yeah, I got
You have a different.
USC. I'll take Marquette either way.
Take Marquette either way. Give me Michigan State. Give me Matt 1T all the way. That's gonna be my fun side of the bracket right there. That's gonna be busted within the first 2 days. Houston versus Auburn. Do you have them in that?
I had Iowa, but
Okay, who do you have?
I'll take Houston.
Yeah, I'll take Houston too. Drake versus Indiana.
That's your pick.
Oh yeah,
I'm
you have
following
someone.
I'm following your lead. I took Drake because of your insider trading, so I'm following your lead on this one.
You know what's an interesting thing here? Another thing I heard about Drake. You know what the average age of a Drake roster is?
What's that?
23, 22 or
Fucking no
23. I
shot.
think it's 22 or 23. Don't.
I'll take the old bastards.
Old guys. I'm gonna take the old guys. Why not? Over Indiana. Who cares?
Let's do it.
What's the worst that can happen? A 12 seed going to the Sweet 16. Uh, Xavier versus Iowa State. Is it? You have Iowa State
Yeah.
or Xavier? Both.
Yeah,
Who do you got?
both. Let's go Iowa State.
We're just all about upsets now.
Yeah, I got this this next one I got fucking Colgate versus Penn State. And I can't justify the teeth whitener over in the Sweet 16.
I think I gotta pick Xavier. I don't think I can pick Iowa State. Uh, yeah, I can't pick. I can't pick Iowa State. Um, who you got? You got Colgate versus Penn State.
Yeah,
I don't have either of those teams. I'm gonna go. I got Texas versus Texas. Where's this game being played? Iowa, Wells Fargo. I'm gonna go Texas. You don't know which team I'm gonna be right. I'm gonna
yeah,
be right either way.
it's gonna be a surprise.
You picking the Teeth Whiters or you picking Penn State?
Nah, I'm picking Penn State.
I think that's safe. Kansas versus Illinois.
Kansas,
Yeah, I feel like you
the
can't pick
reigning
against.
champs.
Yeah. UConn versus St. Mary. Do you have St. Mary's?
UConn. Yeah, UConn.
Yeah, I'm a UConn guy there. I have TCU Gonzaga.
I have them too.
I'll
I'm
go.
I'm I'm inclined to take TCU.
I saw something in TCU that made it interesting. I don't know
I
what it
also
was.
I also feel like last few years Gonzaga just has not hasn't even made it to Elite Eight. Lost early.
Gonzaga's big for being ranked high and choking in the first three rounds. Like
Yeah,
they're known for that. Man, I think I don't know. I was
yeah.
ready to pick the Gonzaga Bulldogs, but from all the way from Canada, but I don't think I can pick the Canadian Bulldogs.
Uh,
Can't
the
believe I
the
thought it must have been Kelly Olynyk. Is Kelly Olynyk from Canada?
I
Is
think
that what it
so.
is? I
I
think
think
that's
so.
what I'm
Yeah,
thinking of. I think that's what I'm thinking of. I knew he was from Gonzaga, but I must have just thought I don't know what I thought.
it's close in proximity, so I feel like you get a pass on that one.
All right, I appreciate it. Uh, man, just for that, I'm gonna go TCU. I'll join the train. UCLA versus North. I have Northwestern.
I have Boise, but I'm going UCLA.
I'll pick UCLA too. Sweet 16, we're gonna be a little off here. I have
Yep.
Alabama versus Virginia.
Yeah, I have Maryland, Virginia.
I'm picking Virginia.
Yeah, I'm picking Virginia.
I have Baylor versus Arizona. I'm picking Arizona.
Also picking Arizona, but I got Arizona, NC State,
I like it. Duke versus Purdue.
Purdue. I got Purdue, Tennessee, but I'm still going Purdue.
Yeah, I really want to go with the upset of Duke, but I just feel like Duke just doesn't have the horses to do it. I don't know. Give me the underdog. I'll go Duke over Purdue.
Fucking crazy bastard.
No, I'm feeling wild. You want to see real wild? I want to hear your next side of the bracket. What's your next game?
Next game is is Kansas State Marquette, but the next game is where you're gonna get crazy.
No, that's not what I. What do you have in that game? I'll let you know what that matchup is. I have a different matchup totally from this next game.
Oh yeah, you have fucking Michigan
I have
State in that one.
I have Michigan State versus Providence.
Let's
Give me Providence. I'm
give
going
me
Providence.
Providence in the Elite Eight.
Sorry, Matt, with one team. Michigan State's going out at the Sweet 16. Do you have Marquette going on, or you have someone else?
I'm throwing Kansas State in there.
I like it. Who do they have to play? They had to. I mean, they have to beat Providence, so I have Providence going all the way, so that makes sense. Um, I have the 1 versus the 12 seed here. Houston versus Drake.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
My insider trading wants me to take Drake again.
I kind of want to go Drake again. I don't know. Like it was 31-3 on the season. Defensively, they're nasty. They held teams to 56 points. Um, they beat St. Mary's, beat Virginia, beat Oregon, lost to Alabama, and won 2 out of 3 against Memphis. Um, Drake beat Mississippi State and Bradley twice. I mean, if you want to go by history, the 1 seed has never lost to the 12 seed. They're 20-0. I mean, do you want to make history tonight, or we?
I think we're right in the history right now.
I feel like Houston always does the same thing too. I feel like they're choking.
Yeah. The past couple years they've been top seeds and haven't done anything.
Give me Drake.
Give me Drake.
Um, Texas versus Xavier for me. I have that.
I have Penn State Xavier.
I'm going Texas.
I'm going Xavier.
Kansas versus UConn.
Give me the Huskies.
I feel like I got to pick against the Huskies here.
You're going you're going Providence all the way to the Sweet 16, but you're not sending UConn.
Yeah, I feel like Kansas is a little different there. I mean, Providence just has to beat Michigan State. I mean, they're not to beat Kansas.
True
I'm
that.
thinking Kansas. TCU versus UCLA. Is that what you have?
Yeah,
Who
I'm
you
going
got?
UCLA. TCU's run is ending. UCLA.
Yeah, I kind of go with you there. Virginia versus Arizona.
I want to take Virginia.
I feel like a lot of people aren't going to go that way, but I kind of want to go Virginia too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Virginia did lose to Boston College this year by 15, though. Let's put this in perspective here. I mean, Arizona did beat UCLA, who we have going pretty far. They beat Tennessee. They beat Creighton. Lost to Oregon
All right, you've
and split
convinced
with
me.
Utah. I
Arizona.
think I got to go Arizona.
You've convinced me.
All right, I got a different matchup than you in the
Yeah,
East.
just slightly.
What do you got in the
Um,
East?
I got Purdue, Kansas State.
Not bad, not bad. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go Purdue. What do you got?
I gotta. I mean, the matchup I think everyone should have in their bracket is Duke versus Providence, and
Roll Friars.
I just don't see the Duke Blue Devils getting it done here. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Providence.
Roll Friars.
Ed Cooley trading, jump aboard. Um, I mean, this is another one that I think everyone has in the Midwest.
Yeah,
Drake.
Drake, Xavier.
I have Drake, Texas, but
I have Xavier.
teach his own. I mean, do we see Drake, the old guys, the old?
The old bastards.
um, it's only happened twice where the 2 seed plays the 12 seed in this tournament. Oklahoma and the twos have won both. Oklahoma over Missouri in 2002, and last year Oregon over Oregon State, Houston over Oregon State in 2021. I guess it was 2 years ago. Uh,
I say the old bastards get sent into retirement, and
yeah, I think whoever we have is going to beat the old guys.
yeah,
I think Drake's magical end ends at the Elite Eight. Um, you have UConn versus UCLA. I have Kansas versus UCLA.
yeah. I'm going UConn. I think it's their year to get back into the Final Four.
I'm going to pick Kansas, so UCLA I'm going to have losing. I feel like that they'll drop eventually. I don't think they're going to make it to the Final Four. Kansas always slithers their way to the Final Four too, and I
Yeah,
always like to have one seed in the Final Four. So that's
yeah,
my
me too.
obviously I couldn't do that because I picked a lot of 2 seeds to win. Um, Arizona. So I have Arizona versus Providence in the Final Four.
I have Arizona, Purdue.
Who you got winning it?
I'm going Purdue for that one.
As much as it pains me to say it, I think Ed Cooley's run ends
The
in the Final
magical
Four.
run ends.
I think it ends there in Texas. I think I'm going Arizona. I don't see Providence
That's a
even making it
shame.
this far. What a all
It's
right,
a
I'll pick Providence. Why not?
yeah, yeah.
No, I think Arizona's a wagon this year. I don't know. Oh boy, this is really hurting my heart here. I'm gonna pick Arizona. I'm sorry, Providence Nation. And then I have Texas versus Kansas. You have
I have
UConn.
Xavier, UConn, and I'm going Xavier.
Oh, the Huskies.
The
How's
Huskies.
it feel? The New
The
England teams
Huskies.
lose in the Final Four.
Hey, at least
Um,
they got there, you know.
yeah, they give them a lot of credit. Um, I feel like I'm gonna pick Kansas, which is kind of nuts.
Back to back.
I hate it. I hate that I just did that. Like that's just how the games came. And I have Arizona versus Kansas in the final championship game. And who's your championship?
I have Purdue, Xavier.
Who's winning the championship?
I'm going Purdue, and I locked in my final score 83-71.
I like that. I think I'm going to go 80, 84, 80.
Close game.
And I think I'm going to go Kansas. No, sorry. Kansas
I
losing.
was about to say back to back
Yeah,
Kansas.
I'm going Arizona. I think that's going to be, what did I say, 84, 80. That's it. Arizona. They're my national champions.
Congratulations. They had a tough go in the Final Four to beat Providence. I'm sure that was a quadruple overtime game.
I mean, I was borderline ready to send them home at that in that round. So um, we'll have to send that out to the rest of the fellas of the Big Red Zone. We'll see who will join that bracket. That's who will win the Big Red Zone bracket pool. Ev, I'll send you the link and we'll make the pool so you can join in on the action.
Sounds good.
Um, without further ado, let's go to our final segment of the night, the people's topic.
It's the people's topic, baby! People's topic.
So for people's topic, you can write on our Instagram and Twitter page at Big Red Zone. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. This week, Emily says, Waller to the Giants, Jimmy G, the Pats finding anyone good. We kind of talked about that earlier. Waller to the Giants, I think is a great move for the Giants. Had kind of a head scratcher for the Raiders. Jimmy G was a good move for the Raiders, and I don't really know what the Pats are doing right now as far as wide receiver.
And they've been doing a whole lot of nothing.
Ben Rappaport, former Brockton Rocks employee there for you, Ev.
Nice.
He wrote, Celtics stink right now. And we didn't really get to talk about it. They're on a little bit of a tough skid here.
Yeah, been tough to watch too. Blown 30-point lead to the Nets and 15-point lead to the Knicks, and losing to the Rockets.
Yep, not too fun. Everyone's jumping ship though, so that's right where we want to be. Lose all the bandwagon guys,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
win a championship. Everyone's picking the Bucks now to win a championship.
I'm still riding with the C's. I think we're still defensively the best team in the league.
Yeah, definitely. I think they can do big things in the run. Joey writes, "Says great show." Oh, thank you, Joey. Not a topic, but I appreciate the compliment here. eFits94, there we go. He writes, "Resigning Jonathan Jones, best news yet." Yep, I agree. That's the best thing that the Pats have done.
Yeah,
Not too much. They haven't done too much,
yeah.
but
Not saying much, but it's still a great thing to
great.
have him back.
Yeah. Mrs. Big Red writes, "My birthday. Her birthday is on St. Patrick's Day, so Friday. Big plans for Friday. So happy
Nice,
birthday, Mrs.
nice.
Big Red." And this one comes from, the last one comes from, of course, Joseph_Celia. He's our biggest fan. Yeah. I
Sweet.
equate him to the Big Red Zone is like you to the Brockton Rocks. That's how
Wow,
I'd equate it.
that's incredible.
Oh wait, I usually like to do them first. Someone just wrote in, so I'm going to say this one first. One comes from Vicky. Jimmy G to the Raiders when he belongs on the Pats. Have any thoughts on that one? Just interrupted Joseph_Silly, Vicky.
No, I think he does not belong with the Pats.
I think he's right where he belongs.
Yeah, I think in a Josh McDaniels offense is right where he belongs.
Exactly. So Joseph_Celia writes, "Do not be worried about the Celtics. We will be just fine." You heard it there first. Joseph_Celia says, "Pump the brakes. Everything's good.
I'm with him.
We'll be there in the end. Stay the course." But thank you for everyone writing into our People's Topic. Remember, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter page at Big Red Zone. Give us a follow, leave us a comment. You can also find us on TikTok at Big Red Zone. Make sure you follow us there. Make sure you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, hit the like button, all that good stuff. And as always, please tell a friend. My thanks, my good friend, Evan Jackman. Thank you for joining this week.
No problem.
Have a great week, everyone.